A favorite song can follow you everywhere you go, and even during those times when you leave it behind for a period of time, it can reemerge in the most unlikely of places or situations. Come listen to Michael's trajectory with the song Crazy Love by Van Morrison. Welcome to I Got a Song.
Come on.
All right. Guess what time it is, Clay?
I don't know. Please tell me.
Well, I'll tell you. It is time for another episode of I Got a Song.
Yes! It is the best time of day. It is the best time of the week. It is absolutely time for I Got a Song.
Man, we're making a good time out of it. We are going to have a good time. So, this is, we decided what this is, episode 28?
Correct.
Or episodio 28?
Yes! Sí. Excelente, Miguel.
Oh, gracias. All right. Oh man, 28 episodes in, man. It feels like each pair of episodes we drop is like a new milestone.
Yeah, no, we're almost to that big 3-0.
I know. No, we got to pull out all the stops for episode 30.
Oh, we should probably get a guest. It's been a while since we've had a guest.
It has been a while. We've been trying to line up a couple, and I think we have some interest from a few interested parties for a guest episode. So I think episode 30 will be a good.
It's already kind of tricky to line up. Just the two of us. Getting a third person is also a challenge, but it's well worth it.
Not wrong.
You may have already heard on episodes 15 and 9, I believe. No.
Was it 9 that we did with Christopher, and then 15 with Dallas? 11
was Dallas.
I gotcha.
Anyway.
Good times.
Yeah, go back there to that back catalog and check those out.
All right.
Rollicking good
This is I Got a Song, everybody. For the people who haven't been with us for the long haul, what we do is we share music with each other, and thereby share music with the world in general. How we do it. So whoever's hosting in this particular episode, that would be me, Michael. I have a song picked out ahead of time. I'm going to drop it on an unsuspecting Clay, and he will react to it in real time, and we will listen to it in real time, and then we'll come back and discuss its merits, or in rare cases, demerits, and we'll have a great time doing it. Does that sound like a good time, Clay?
Oh, man, it always is. I'm super... I said from episode 1, I'm not going to be one of those podcasters that always starts the episode off with, I'm so excited, but dang it, I am.
and we say that we're not going to say that every episode, and yet we still do every episode.
With my fist in the air.
Oh,
Michael
man.
is looking at me. I am excited, man. I always love this. It's like Christmas.
Well, let's kind of hop into this thing. The song that I have picked out.
Do you want to say anything like, where people can find us? Any of that stuff, or do you want to save that for later?
I was going to save it for later, but now that you've stopped
go ahead,
stopped me in my tracks, let's see. Forget about introducing the song. Let's talk about how to listen to us here. So, Clay, what's your IG handle?
Okay, well, you can find us on Instagram at I Got a Song Podcast.
Likewise, you can go on X, formerly known as Twitter, and find us on I Got a Song Pod. Since they didn't like that I wanted to use I Got a Song Podcast. Thank you, X. Thank you, Elon.
It's close enough.
I Got a Song Pod on Twitter.
Yes, and
you can listen to us. What are all the platforms you can listen to us on, Clay?
Well,
because we're worldwide now.
Yeah, it seems so. We've got Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music.
Fantastic. All right.
I know.
Man. So for the 23 or so of you out there that are listening to us and having a ball with us, man, we thank you. Tell your friends, tell your family, and let's see if we can reach that magic 25 listeners. And then that'll be a celebration too. We'll have to celebrate all these milestones, Clay.
Well, I'm confident that we have more than 25 listeners. We only have about, we have 20 followers or so on Spotify, but
That's true.
That doesn't account for people listening on other platforms. So, whatever. I'm thrilled to have anybody listening.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm
we
thrilled
are
that
too.
you're here listening.
I am too. Thank you. I'm thrilled to be listening.
Well,
Okay.
you should be.
So, in that regard, in that respect, I'm going to propose not so much a question as an observation, and that you can kind of jump in with me.
Okay.
Think about songs, and I'm talking about specific songs, not necessarily an album or an artist. That a song that transcends the time it was released. It transcends, like genre defining traits. Does that make sense? Let's say, think of a song that may have released in the 80s, but doesn't sound like an 80s song. And we've had this conversation before. I'm pretty sure we've even talked about it in the podcast here, but
yeah, we have.
And this song is not from the 80s, but I'm just using it as an example. Like
Going
music
back
go ahead.
to episode 15 when we were talking about One of These Nights by Eagles.
Yes.
And we posed the question, is this a disco song? And
Yeah.
there were a few indicators that, it very well could be. But also, it has all those other classic Eagles elements. There's the southern rock and the country, and, Eagles are such a big thing that a song like that, I would say, would transcend, was the word you used.
Okay. Yeah. Now, before I get too deep into this song, it's an artist that I know you're like indifferent about. You don't hate him, you don't love him. Okay, but the thing is like the artist in general, and this particular song in particular, I've known and loved this song since I was a kid. It was recorded well before I was born. It was recorded in 1970. Okay. But it doesn't sound like a 70s song to me,
Awesome.
And there's another question I want to ask, but I kind of want to wait until we've played the song and heard it. But I've got
afraid that I might guess it.
No, I am 100% confident you will not guess it. But
Okay, I'm pretty confident as well. It's from 1970. I'm excited about this already.
Don't set your bar too high.
Oh, okay.
But I've got a great story to go along with it, and it's a very personal story to me once again. But I'm just going to go ahead and sing you the song.
Heck yeah.
And again,
let's do it.
Here it comes. Let's just see what you think.
Okay, and we have got Van Morrison. Crazy Love. Yes, we got Van Morrison. Okay, I'm
right.
down. No, I'm down.
You're down?
I'm
okay.
totally down.
Right.
Yes.
Do you know this song? Do you?
I know it's going to be one of the ones.
Do you recognize at least the title?
Yes, I recognize the album cover.
Okay, yeah.
When it comes on,
perhaps his most recognizable.
Okay, when it
album.
pops on, I'll know it. Right?
Maybe
not.
You might know this song. I can play 2 or 3 other songs from this album that you would without a doubt know. This one is one of his hits, but it's not like a mega hit. So
sweet. Well, I know you're into Van Morrison, man. Let's go.
All right, let's go. Crazy Love by Van Morrison. So at this time, Clay and I are going to take a break to listen to the song. We're going to react to the song together. We're going to come back and discuss it. We recommend that you do the same on your platform of choice, and join us again for the discussion.
She gave me love, crazy. She gave me love. She gave me love, 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 crazy love.
All right, everybody, that was Crazy Love from Van Morrison's album Moondance, recorded in 1970. All right, Clay, I saw you kind of vibing to it towards the end of the song. Tell me your initial thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning, you know, I was like, yeah, there's some Van Morrison, and to me, he's like kind of hit or miss. Like I know one of your favorites is Brown Eyed Girl, and I just it's not my thing. But no, this was not. Sorry,
I get it. I really do.
Okay, thank you. I don't want to.
He's an acquired taste. He's an acquired taste for sure.
And I mean, I've certainly had like my fair share of unique vocals. So
yeah. Okay.
But you're right. By the end, though, I was into it. I was vibing. I was even singing along. I had the song. Yeah, I mean, not figured
kind of
out,
had the song
but I had
pegged.
the main.
So
yeah,
had you heard this? Had you heard this song before, Clay?
I probably have, but
just in passing or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. I've heard this song, for the better part of my life. For some reason, it struck a chord with me way early on, and I've been a fan of Van Morrison ever since. But I've got a few little things to say about Van Morrison and this album and in this song in particular. A great song to do with, or a great story to go along with this song. But so I have this album on vinyl, and it's one of my what I would consider reference albums, because I know the album so well. So when I set up my turntable and my speakers and everything, and I want to I want to show off the power of analog music through a turntable to someone who's unfamiliar, I'll put this album on, because the vocal is just so present and the music is so good, and it's an incredible sounding recording.
Wow.
On vinyl. And so it's one of the ones that I'll use to show it off,
That's so cool.
And
what is it specifically about this album that sonically inspires you, or
well, it's the vocal, again, it acquired taste here, but it's a taste that I acquired a long time ago. But
it doesn't bother me.
Crazy Love is one of my it's perhaps one of my favorite love songs, and that's a question I'm going to ask you here in just a little bit. So already be kind of thinking, I know you're not necessarily, I don't peg you for an overly sentimental type person, although here lately you've been prone to more emotion than I've ever seen from you. But
music has just got its hooks in me, man. I should start a podcast.
So you really should. You might even call it "I Got a Song."
Whoa!
If I just blew your mind, I mean,
whoa.
So anyway, but this is actually not my favorite song on this album. I chose this song because of the story that I'm going to tell you here in a little bit about it, but it's not my favorite song on the album. My favorite song is actually probably Into the Mystic.
Yeah, when the foghorn blows, I wanna hear it. I don't have to fear it, and I wanna rock your gypsy soul, just like way back in the days of old. And magnificently we will fold into the mystic.
And I'm pretty sure that's probably one that you've heard before, but
I'm pretty sure
I chose this song more because of the story that I'm going to tell you here in just a little bit. But before I get into this story, I wanted to ask you what you thought some of your favorite love songs are.
The first one that comes to mind is Nobody by Keith Sweat.
God, what a pick! Yes.
When you want me to stop, and who can love you like me? Nobody. Who can sex you like me? Nobody. Who can treat you like me, my baby? Nobody, baby. Nobody. And who can do it like me? Nobody. Who can give you what you need?
Nobody.
Oh,
well
man.
done. Oh
Yeah.
man, that is a treat. And one of my favorite Keith Sweat songs is "Twisted."
Oh man, that's a I love it. It's a banger.
Oh yeah,
Man, he's
yeah.
got that voice. All right, we're gonna do a Keith
Yeah.
Sweat episode one day.
God, it's going to happen one
Just
day.
Put it on my list. It'll be a Keith
Nice.
Sweat episode for sure.
Keith Sweat, come on the pod, bud. Okay, so "Nobody" by Keith Sweat. You got any others? Or I don't
Oh,
want
boy.
to sit here and rack your brain too much because I.
Man.
Okay, think about it. Think about it.
Okay,
Think
all
about
right,
it.
all right. Yes. I bet one will come to mind, and I'll let you know. Can I interrupt
All
you?
right,
And I'll just
so-
let you know. I'm good at that.
I've known this song again since I was a kid. We talked before about making mixtapes, right?
Oh, yeah.
And we grew up making our own mixtapes, making recordings, things like that onto cassette tapes, blank cassette tapes, all the way up through. I mean, at least through junior high, I'd say. And then as we get into high school, we've all kind of moved on to CDs and we're listening to CDs. But at that point in time, we're talking mid-90s, there wasn't really a way to make a mix CD, right?
Right. Not quite. I wasn't making mixed
So-
CDs until like college, probably.
Yeah. College is about the time that mixed CDs start becoming a thing. And they didn't really stay a thing for very long. They were not a thing as long as like old mixtapes were, I don't think.
I have
Because
a
we
few
really
mixed
moved
CDs
quick.
that I made for
We
myself.
moved quick. Well, I feel like we moved quick from mixtapes through the mixed CD kind of phase and straight into
Yeah.
kind of the digital era that we're in now.
Yeah, because we got
where-
into Napster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But we were ripping that stuff and putting them on CDs.
yeah.
Big case Logic cases full of burned CDs. Go to Office
So-
Depot and buy a big. Anyway.
I'd say within a year or so after I graduated high school, I got a computer that was able to like burn CDs, and I figured out how to rip songs off of existing CDs that I had and compile them into one, mixed CD. And so I made this mixed CD of old Motown and old classic soul stuff.
If I may interject for just a moment, I think
please.
the modern day equivalent of this is the playlist. You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
if when you're on Spotify and you look for the I Got a Song companion playlist,
Mhm.
for example, or Mikey's 90s Yes, these are all mixtapes, except
Of course,
in
yeah.
the case of yours, it's several days worth of music.
Oh yeah.
It's
so-
not confined to 90 minutes on a
Exactly.
Maxell or Sony blank cassette.
That's right. Well, I made this CD of old Motown classic soul stuff, but I stuck "Crazy Love" by Van Morrison as the last track on this CD.
Interesting.
Okay, and I feel like it's because it almost has like think of your Motown kind of old soul ballad type songs. Not the my girl, not something like that, but like slower ballad type songs. Sitting on the dock of the bay.
Nothing like the real thing, baby.
Maybe even more chill and relaxed than that, but kind of in the same vein. But I had Marvin Gaye, Temptations, The Four Tops, Otis Redding, Benny King, all these great classic soul R&B records, and then I put Crazy Love as the very last track on there. I had like 4 minutes of space left on this CD, and I stuck Crazy Love in there.
So that it fit.
It fit the vibe
of the tape, even though it's
Yes.
not Motown.
It's not Motown. It's not.
And that's
I wouldn't consider it classic soul. I don't know what I would call this song, but it fit the vibe, and I put it on there. Okay, this would have been maybe around 1999-ish when I made this CD.
Nice.
And I had it in my CD wallet that I kept in my vehicle. So I was like, I want to listen to my Motown stuff. So I'd throw that CD in, and it was like hit after hit after hit. And Crazy Love was on there.
Wow.
And so there were probably 3 or 4 different times over the course of the next 2 years or so where somebody was in my vehicle listening. I wasn't playing it on purpose, but it was like this CD happened to be in there and playing, and someone would be like, oh, what is this? Let's turn it up. And it's just, great song after great song. And they would say, hey, I want a copy of this. And so I would go home and burn a copy, just an exact copy of this blank CD, and give this person that blank CD. Right?
Yeah. Before you were making, stuff on Spotify, you were doing. We've been doing this forever, and this is what we're doing now. Is just basically a
continuation of
version of what we were doing when we were in whatever.
Exactly.
And it's still just as fun.
An age-old tradition, just a different method. But I gave out probably, I want to say 3 or 4 of that blank CD, including one girl named Holly.
Okay. Now that name rings a bell.
Yes, it does. It should.
That is the name of your wife.
My beautiful wife. That is the name of my beautiful wife. And so she was riding with me. We were not dating, of course, or anything at the time, but we were riding together to Dallas, actually to visit you, Clay, and Christopher, and a number of our other friends. We were all meeting in Dallas to hang out for like a weekend, and Holly rode with me, and this CD was in there, and she said, "Oh, I want a copy of that." Sure. And
look at you.
So, like I said, that would have been like maybe 2000, 2001, somewhere around there. I don't know. Making
mixtapes for girls, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. Another age-old tradition. So Holly and I didn't start dating until we were 29, I believe. I believe we were 29 years old when Holly and I started dating. And then, of course, we eventually married and had kids, and we were, living life to the fullest. But Holly still has that blank CD, that mixed CD I made her of the. Oh yeah, it's still in her CD wallet. She's got this big fat CD wallet that she carried around ever since like college, and that CD is still in there.
Oh, that's wonderful!
And Crazy Love is the song that we did our first dance to at our wedding. That was a song that we did our first dance to. She had known the song, but she didn't really it didn't really hit her until she'd had this CD that I made her. And she's like, "Oh, I really like that song." Like she had mentioned that
one in
she
particular.
knew that it's like, this isn't Motown or any of that. And I was like, well, no, but it's a great song, and it fits on here for some reason.
It fits the vibe.
And now she loves the song just about as much as I do. And
would you call that your song, quote unquote?
Probably so, yeah. If Holly and I had a song, it would either be that or Mayonnaise by Smashing Pumpkins.
Hey,
these two songs vie for the title, I'd say.
They're both
2 very different songs.
Yes, they're very different.
but yeah. So just a cool, heartwarming song, story about a song that touched both of us at very different times of our lives, and we kind of came together around it in a way. I don't know. Michael getting all sappy on everybody here, but anyway.
No, dude, that's beautiful, man. I mean, that's it's amazing that music it does those things. All the time. All the time, people have their song. That's my song. That's our song. It's an age-old thing. Ever since music's been around and people have been listening to music together and falling in love together, that stuff, man, bring it on.
And we've talked before about lyrics and how we don't necessarily zero in on lyrics. It has to be a pretty special song for the lyrics to affect us in some kind of way, right?
Yes.
One of the verses here, it's in the middle of the song. It says, she's got a fine sense of humor when I'm feeling low down. Yeah, when I come to her, when the sun goes down, she takes away my trouble, takes away my grief. She takes away my heartache in the night like a thief. And I've always just loved that whole verse and like his delivery, and it's a great way to describe how I feel when I'm with my wife. It's just, I don't know. There's few other songs that I can offer the lyrics more perfectly for our relationship.
Yeah, I know. I've had days where I'll come in the door and she's, been at work all night or whatever, and we during the week we don't get to see each other as much as we'd like to, but dang it if we don't, we just make each other laugh, just picking at each other, and we don't like share music like at all, but we like just crack each other up, and it's there's nothing like cutting up with my wife and giving each other a hard time, man.
Yeah, dude.
Just makes my day.
Yeah.
What a gift.
Oh, absolutely.
Just like these songs,
absolutely. Right? Oh, yeah. Yeah. But, that's kind of my story with this song.
I knew Van Morrison had a place with you and Holly, and I thought it was with Brown Eyed Girl.
Holly does have brown eyes. She has beautiful brown eyes, and that song is fun to play with her. But that is not that's not our song. Crazy Love is, well, and she likes this album. Anyway. She Brown Eyed Girl is a fine song, but it's probably not even top 10 for me. Van Morrison. So.
Oh, okay. I thought it was higher up there. I thought it was really.
I mean, it could be 11 or 12, but it's not. It's probably. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't crack top 10 for me on Van Morrison. I've got so much other stuff of his that I like.
Do you like that Moondance song?
Moondance is good. I like it better than Brown Eyed Girl. But the songs that I like on Moondance, so the album Moondance, Into the Mystic, Crazy Love, Caravan, and the song And It Stoned Me. Okay. Those are my favorites from this album. And then he's got other equally fine songs that make my list.
Now, would you call this album, which album is this called? What's this album?
It's called Moondance.
Okay, Moondance is the album. Is this his best? Would you say that this is his best album or your favorite album?
It's definitely my favorite album of his. He's recorded so much over the years. I mean, he recorded this in 1970, and he had at least one or two, if not more, albums prior to this, and he still records now. I mean, he's been recording music for well over 50 years, and no signs of stopping. He
still tours and stuff?
I don't know how much touring he does. He definitely still records and puts out music. There was a movie Belfast that came out a couple of years ago, and he provided at least one original song, if not more, for that. He's from Belfast, Northern Ireland.
Ah.
And so when this movie was being made, they took a lot of his music into the movie, and then he recorded I want to say maybe 2 original songs, but definitely at least one. And I like those. I mean, stuff that he recorded 2-3 years ago are just as dear to me as 50 years ago. So
Wow, you go deep with Van Morrison.
I go pretty deep with Van Morrison. Yeah, I really do. And
now, if you had to give me, I don't know, some kind of assignment or something on a Van Morrison thing,
like maybe some.
Is this your homework, Larry?
Yes.
just something kind of like that. Would you say that this would be the album?
Oh yeah. In fact, what you can do to make it easy on yourself is just start with track 1 on this album and let it play through about the first 5 songs. You can skip Crazy Love because you've already heard it. You could probably skip Moondance, but go play the first one, And It Stoned Me, and roll through those Moondance, Crazy Love, Caravan, and Into the Mystic.
I'll just do
None of the
whole
song.
thing.
I mean, sure, if you want to. The rest of the album's various shades of good to me, but the first 5 tracks are just so strong to me.
Wow. Okay. So it's a strong side A.
Oh, definitely.
Okay. Sweet, man. What else you got on Van Morrison?
That might be about it. I wanted to get that story out there and just kind of, to go back to my original question that I posed to you, like songs that transcend, time and genre. Like, did that feel like does Crazy Love feel like a song from 1970 to you? Or does it? I know it'll feel old. It'll feel classic, I suppose, is a good way to put it. But would you have, if you didn't know that it was recorded in 1970, would you have put it in the 70s?
Man, it's kind of hard to say, really. I don't see it. I mean, I really could see it. Now that you mention it, it really could work out in a lot of different eras. I could totally see it in the 60s, 70s for sure. A lot of different ways in the 70s. The 80s, with somebody like Van Morrison, I don't know that. I mean, having been around so long, I'm sure he's had a lot of different eras, but I don't know if he had like an 80s bad era or what, but
it's funny, for all the output he's had, the 80s weren't a huge time for him, I don't think. I don't know, but there's stuff he put out in the 90s that are good. There are a lot of stuff he put out in the 70s that are good. And then, of course, the stuff that he's done more recently. I'd have to really see about his 80s output. But, back to the point, it was like this song reached out to me when I was a kid, and it's never really left my side. And in fact, has become kind of a central figure in where I'm at in my life now,
It's so great, man.
And it's something that, there's a lot of people that would probably, kind of like what you were saying at first, you're like, you've probably heard this song, or, somebody might know it. I know your mom knows it because your mom is actually a big Van Morrison fan. I have talked to your mom about Van Morrison.
Unbeknownst to me about Van Morrison. And I don't dislike Van Morrison.
Well, yeah.
No, and this I like this. I like this song for sure. This is definitely a highlight for me as far as Van Morrison.
Oh yeah. So I just like the fact that it's a song from the 70s that doesn't necessarily sound like it's from the 70s, and it's a song by an artist who is not. I wouldn't consider him soul. I'd consider him just like singer-songwriter more than anything else.
Adult contemporary?
Maybe, yeah, sure. But like...
He's not really rock, is he?
No, I wouldn't consider him rock necessarily. But this song fit on a CD of a bunch of, soul and R&B stuff,
Yeah.
and I
I
don't
can
know.
totally see that because he's actually got those there's some background vocals going on.
Yeah.
In that, so I could see that lining up for sure.
Yeah.
And
So
it's
it's
just like the whole feel of it. You're right, man. That's a really strong choice. Like to put that to just like round out the end of your compilation with this track.
yeah. Oh yeah.
That's really cool.
But that's really all I got. That's all I
You
got.
picked a great song as you.
Jeez.
Yeah, we know how to wrap this up, don't we?
Ugh, so
Man,
terrible.
You picked a great song as usual, man. I appreciate it. I'm gonna listen to this one again. To this one again, and I accept your homework assignment. I'll listen to what's the album again?
It's called Moon Dance.
Okay, it's called Moon Dance. I know the name of I know the song. Okay, so that's the name of the album. Okay, got it. I'm gonna do that. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to wrap up this particular episode 28 of I Got a Song. If this song resonated with you and it made you think of somebody, maybe somebody that you haven't talked to in a while or something like that, then give these guys give the song to a friend of yours, send it their way, and let them know, hey, I was thinking about you. This song is awesome. Have a listen.
Oh, absolutely. And you never know when it could you could be playing this song for your future spouse, or you never know how events can turn out, and a song could have been with you the entire way through that journey.
Yes. It's beautiful. Let music do that for you, man. So, okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, music is a gift. Share generously, and we will talk to you next time.
Absolutely. Bye, let's do it again, Clay.
All right. Later.
Bye.
Boy. Hey, we really appreciate you listening to the show. If you've enjoyed what you heard today, go ahead and check out the rest of our episodes and share them with your friends. Be sure to follow us and find us on Instagram at I Got a Song Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at I Got a Song Pod. And we would love to hear your voice, so leave us a Google voicemail at 323-903-SONG. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.